I swear that the evidence I shall give shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help me God.
Please state your full name for the record.
Catherine Elizabeth Delaney.
Thank you, Miss Delaney. It is alleged that on the 24th of June 2003 that you did commit premeditated murder at 76 Ormond Grove, Blackrock, against your husband, Mr. David Delaney. How do you plead?
Not guilty.
Jury, please note Exhibit 1, a knife containing blood type O positive, that of the husband of the defendant, and that on the morning of the 25th you were found with bloody clothes and said knife in your possession at your home. When questioned as to the incidents pertaining to the murder, you declined to comment. Is that a fair summary of the events on those days in question, Miss Delaney?
What do you know about fair, Miss McLaughlin?
Well, I'm not the one on trial here.
Please answer the question, Miss Delaney.
It's your humdrum life and your state job. You don't know anything about me. You don't know how I had to live, or you don't know anything about me or my life.
Just answer the question, Miss Delaney. We're listening.
Why? Why? You're not listening. They never listened. They didn't listen in the hospitals. You're not listening here now.
Well, then I shall rephrase. The state would allege that you murdered your husband in a premeditated act, witnessed by your child, in the hopes that you could sit here and tell us that he abused you, when in fact it was the violence upon yourself that brought you to A&E numerous times. I refer to the testimony of Dr. Findlay, dated 15th of February 2003, where he states your hospitalisation 8 times in as many months, due to self-inflicted injuries. Whereby, refusing to answer questions, you had intimated that it was your husband who had caused these injuries, when in fact it was yourself, resulting in the diagnosis of Munchausen syndrome. I just thank God it was not your innocent child that suffered at your hands.
You thank God? Who is your God? Your God doesn't know me. You don't know anything about me or my life. You want to know why I did it? You want to know why? Because I was bored. I was bored of him and his penny pinching, petty little comments and his underhand comments. I was bored. His sweaty, heaving body over me, grunting night after night. Have you ever been treated like a piece of meat by a man? Have you ever had to eat your food with your child knowing that he'd spat on it first? No, you haven't. No, you haven't. So you don't know anything about me. And just because you can't see bruises, just because you can't see the marks that he inflicted on me, you think I wasn't tortured. You want evidence? You want papers and documents and hospital reports? I don't have any. There are none. And you know something? Glad, because I stood there that night and every time I plunged that knife deeper into him, I laughed. I laughed. I laughed like I hadn't laughed in years, and you know why? Because he told me I was useless. He told me I'd never amount to anything.
Miss Delaney, we need to ascertain the facts of the night in question. You'll get a chance to give your version of events at a later time.
No. No. You're all listening. Listen now. You know why you're all listening? Because I'm not the guilty one here. You're guilty. Each and every one of you of not listening. Nobody listened to me. You know why you're listening? Because you've all done it. Every one of you. You've all ignored that friend. You walked past that homeless person clearly in need. You know why you're guilty? Because you're the same as me. The very same. You're all the same. So lock me up. You can't take away my freedom. I have my freedom now, and my child has my freedom. And that, for Miss McLaughlin, I thank my God.